Ever wonder why some people seem to learn faster than others? It's not some mysterious magic trick, it's a simple brain hack that you can start using right now. For the longest time, I absolutely hated studying. Seriously, I'd rather scrub my bathroom floor with a toothbrush than open a textbook. I always felt like my brain was working against me, like I could never get into the groove. But then I learned about dopamine and it totally flipped the script for me. Suddenly, studying wasn't something I dreaded, it was something I actually looked forward to. Here's how it happened. Once I cracked the code of dopamine, studying went from ugh to heck yeah. It felt like that rush you get when you're about to beat a level in your favorite video game or when your crush finally texts you back. Sounds familiar, right? That feeling when your brain gets a little jolt of joy. Imagine feeling that every time you sit down to study. Yep, you read that right. I actually craved my study sessions. No more procrastination, no more endless hours of scrolling through TikTok and feeling guilty. Instead, I had real, lasting motivation that didn't just come and go. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is dopamine? Great question. Dopamine is basically your brain's reward currency. It's the chemical that gets released when you do something pleasurable, like eating pizza, getting likes on Instagram, or even finishing a task. It's that sweet little burst of joy that makes you feel like you've won. The catch? Traditional studying doesn't trigger that dopamine release naturally. In fact, studying is usually pretty boring. It's like your brain is sitting there looking at that textbook thinking, why should I release dopamine for this? There's nothing fun here. That's where the hack comes in. You can train your brain to associate studying with dopamine, just like you've trained yourself to enjoy video games or scrolling social media. The trick is to build in immediate rewards that your brain can latch onto while you're studying. It's basically rewiring your motivation system, and trust me, it works. Alright, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Here's exactly what I did to rewire my brain and make studying more rewarding. 1. Micro rewards. First off, I started with micro rewards. Every 25 minutes of studying, using the Pomodoro method, I'd give myself a little treat. This could be a piece of chocolate, a short walk outside, or 5 minutes of watching my favorite YouTube video. The trick? The reward needs to be immediate. Your brain has to connect that studying effort with a positive result right away. So instead of waiting until the end of the day to reward yourself, you're rewarding yourself on the spot. Instant gratification equals dopamine. 2. Gamify your study sessions. Next, I turned studying into a game. I'm serious. Every time I completed a mini task, like reading a chapter or finishing a set of practice problems, I gave myself points. It was like leveling up in a game. Read a chapter, 10 points. Solve all the problems, 20 points. Once I hit a certain number of points, I'd treat myself to something bigger, like going out with friends or watching a new episode of my favorite show. There are apps like Forest or Habitica that can help with tracking points in progress, but honestly, a simple spreadsheet works just fine. Tracking progress and seeing your score grow is a powerful motivator. Your brain loves to see progress, so make sure to give it something to celebrate. 3. Celebrate small wins. This one sounds kinda silly, but stick with me. Whenever I hit a mini goal, I'd celebrate out loud. I'd yell yes or even do a little fist pump. Sounds goofy, but that physical celebration is actually helping to release dopamine. You're reinforcing that studying is rewarding. It's like giving your brain a high five every time you finish something. 4. Bring in novelty. Dopamine thrives on novelty. It's why scrolling through your social media feed feels so addictive. You're constantly exposed to something new. So I started mixing things up in my study routine. I'd study in a coffee shop instead of my usual desk, try different colored pens, or listen to a new study playlist. Adding something new to your routine keeps things fresh and exciting, which makes your brain more engaged. The more novelty you bring in, the more dopamine gets released. 5. Make it personal. This one was one of the biggest game changers. I stopped studying subjects I hated in isolation. Instead, I connected them to things I actually cared about. For example, I struggled with statistics, but instead of just grinding through dry problems, I started analyzing sports stats for my fantasy football league. Suddenly, I was actually interested in the material. The key here is to find a way to make the subject feel relevant to you. Your brain will be way more motivated when it sees a personal connection. The most amazing part, after about 2 weeks of doing this, studying went from a chore to something I actually looked forward to. I wasn't dragging myself to the desk anymore. My brain started anticipating those study sessions. It was like dopamine was quietly but steadily rewiring my motivation system, and it made everything smoother. No more forcing myself to study. It was a natural, almost effortless process. Look, rewiring your brain to make studying more rewarding isn't going to happen overnight, but it's definitely doable. And once you've got it in place, it's like having a cheat code for productivity. Got any questions about how to make this work for your own study sessions? Drop them below. I actually read and reply, seriously. Whether you need tips on staying consistent, adapting this to a tough subject, or handling motivation dips, I'm here for it. I've been there, and I want to help you crack the code too. Let's make studying suck a whole lot less.